welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Leslie, and today we are going to be continuing on with our Kendra's Card Challenge number 23. We are going to be doing sketches 6 through 11 today. So these are all my little Ziploc bags full of card supplies, all ready to make cards sketches 6 through 10, and this is how I keep them in just simple Ziploc bags. And we are moving on to sketch 10. Now, of course, these Ziploc bags have been with me since KCC 9, I believe. So you don't have to be too fancy. You just gotta try to stay organized, which is what I'm trying to do with those. So this quarter, I am making a bunch of bug cards. I donate a lot of my cards to kids that are ages 6 through about 11 or 12. And I feel like bugs can be either feminine or masculine for the cards. So I feel like it's a good subject matter for the age group that I donate to. And of course, I am using my tape runner adhesive here. This is the permanent double-sided adhesive tape. It's acid-free, perfect for art and crafting, scrapbooking, and bullet journaling, and it lasts about 472 inches. So that's what I'll be using for most of my cards today. Let's go ahead and continue on with this sketch. So I am just trimming off a little bit of that white base there. Sometimes my bases are just enough off, and if I have a colored base on top of that, you can see it and it bugs me, so it's okay to trim it off. And then, like I said, I'm using a lot of bug things. So I'm using the critter release from Pretty Pink Posh. And then I'm using pattern paper from Echo Park. And if you want all that kind of information, which papers I decided to go with, look at the dies and all that kind of stuff, I'll put down in the description box my launch and my first part 1 of Kendra's Card Challenge number 23, because that is where all of that kind of information is. And of course, I will also have that information down in the description box as well, in case you want to check out those collections a little bit more closely. So I'm just trying to line up my paper here to make sure that there is a nice even border around that ladybug print. I did put my red pattern paper, I glued it onto that ladybug print at an angle that I wanted for the sketch. You could put that down and then do the ladybug paper, but I figured this way I would actually get an even enough border. So I am using You Are Loved. This is a sentiment strip from a stamp set designed by Christy Marcotte for the Not Too Shabby Autumn Retreat. So if you are watching this soon after this comes out, you still have a chance to sign up for those tickets and get these kits. They have started mailing, but you still have some time to get yours as well. So if you want this lovely stamp set, you definitely have to check out the kit, because that's the only way you can get it. So I will have that information down in the description box as well. So I am bringing in my liquid glue for the ladybug, just makes it a little bit easier on me. I love this little ladybug. I did go with just some hand-drawn eyes on it instead of my googly eyes. I tend to do googly eyes later on with a lot of my critters because I think it looks fun. And who doesn't like googly eyes? And then we're just gonna bring in some bling from my stash and put a couple down in the bottom left hand corner here, which is what the sketch calls for. So with this particular card, I did follow the sketch pretty exact here. So and then that is sketch 6. I like it. I'm a big fan of ladybugs as long as they don't land on me. So all right, we're going to do another ladybug card. You'll kind of see a theme throughout my cards if you've been watching. I did a couple butterflies, I do a few caterpillars, I do a few ladybugs, just following what my pattern paper showed up as. There is, of course, like a bumblebee and a dragonfly and all kinds of, I think a snail and all kinds of little critters in this collection. So lots to choose from. I did do a black splatter on just white paper for one of my card mats here. And then I'm just choosing real basic black and whites for these particular ones just because I think it makes the red pop so much more. And I feel like that definitely matches ladybugs. I did actually do a ladybug themed throughout a couple quarters back for Kendra's Card Challenge. That was all not too shabby ladybug things, and it was little teddy bears dressed up as ladybugs, and it was adorable. And it was a big hit with the girls at the camp, so might have to dig into that and see what I have left and maybe finish off that pad of paper as well. So just showing you here on the back side of these patterns, there's usually a tone on tone, and then there's a busy pattern. So I try to keep when looking for papers, I try to make sure that I can use both sides. And I just feel like this pattern paper is fantastic, this pad, because it has the busy side of the critters on one side, but then it has tone on tone on the other. So I really utilize that with this set of cards. So definitely if you're making Kendra's Card Challenge cards, I highly suggest double-sided paper that goes with everything, just so you have a little bit more wiggle room when designing your cards. So again, I chose the ladybug paper here, and then the red, I chose that instead of the critters on the other side because that's what matched. And then there is a few scrap layovers that Kendra herself suggests putting on the inside of certain cards. So we're definitely going to take that suggestion and decorate a little bit of the inside of the cards. I tend to forget to do that, or I choose not to do that. So something different. So you are a bug deal. That is from the sticker sheet that also came that I bought with the Echo Park set. And then I'm just bringing in some black gems from my stash. These are from This Calls for Confetti. And I'm just going to place 3 at the top, kind of in a little triangle pattern, a big, a middle, and a small gem. And then we're going to do 2 on the lower hand corner underneath that ladybug, just so your eye kind of has a diagonal to follow. So that is card number 7. Yay! All right, and then we're moving on to sketch number 8. I really like the sketches this quarter. Of course, I usually like all the sketches anyway, but the sketches this quarter are really good scrap busters. So if you're not making like a whole set of cards, or even if you are, you could probably use scraps for most of these card sketches because of the smaller pieces. Now, I did decide I really liked the stripe paper that came with my set, so I knew I wanted that as the background. Anything that is white, black, or gray on the sketches are completely up to you and what works for your cards. You get to choose if you want more pattern paper, or if you want another cardstock color, or if you want to emboss or ink, alcohol ink, or anything like that. That's completely up to you. I chose to do some pattern paper in this one just because I really loved the stripe and I wanted to show it off. Plus, I felt like it went really well with the pattern papers that I chose to go with this particular one. So I'm using the one side, you can see, is fireflies. The other side is a yellow tone on tone. We're using the yellow tone on tone. And then for my little squares, I chose to use the critters. Those are a bunch of different beetles and bugs just because they're so colorful, and I felt like utilizing the striped paper just made them pop even more, and they just color together so well. So and then I am using, for sentiment, I'm using the Easily Distracted by Bugs sticker that came with the sticker sheet. And of course, if you are new to Kendra's Card Challenge and have no idea what I'm talking about, you're obviously new to my channel. But that's okay. Kendra's Card Challenge, we are on number 23 now. It is a quarterly challenge where Cards by Kendra creates 15 sketches, using 6 sheets of 6x6 paper. and she gives you all the cutting guides for the paper and all the sketch details completely for free. You just have to sign up to be a free member of her Patreon. And then if you make a set of 15 cards, you can enter it into our InLinkz party for chances to win fun giveaways. We do giveaways for each month of the quarter, and then also the end of the quarter kind of thing. So lots of chances to win. You can enter up to 3 different sets of sketches, 3 sets of 15, one for each month, and you have more chances to win that way. And then of course we'd love to see your cards, so definitely be adding that to our Facebook group as well, so that we can all see your beautiful cards. It's a great way to get lots of inspiration and just see what everyone does, because just everyone has the same sketches, but the cards come out so differently just depending on which pattern papers you choose, which ephemera you choose, and what you choose to do with it. So, and of course these are also jumping off points. So if you want to make your horizontal cards vertical, you can make your vertical cards horizontal. You can make 5x7 or slimline cards. You do you. They just have to show which sketch clearly where you got it from. So I did add a lovely little line of bugs for that card, and that might be actually my favorite one of the set. And then moving on to sketch number 9, I have this lovely little caterpillar. Now, if you want to see how I created all these little fun critters, you need to be checking out my live streams. I do a live stream almost once a week with a friend of mine. We do productivity live streams, and that is where I'm doing behind the scenes for cards like this. So what I'm showing you here is that I'm going to turn this card. It's originally a horizontal card, and I'm going to make it a vertical just because the pattern papers that I ended up cutting for it, I really liked the tone on tone, the green grass, and I want it to be underneath the caterpillar like he's climbing a hill kind of thing. And I just felt like he fit better with this card as a vertical card, which is totally fine. Like I said, these are jumping off points. You can turn them horizontal to vertical, vertical to horizontal, do your own thing. It just has to show, like, we have to be able to see it and go, oh yeah, that's sketch 9 or 10 or 11, in this case 9, just so we're able to tell that. So it has to be true enough to the sketch that you can tell that's where you got the inspiration for the sketch for. And then I'm bringing in just scraps of cardstock that I had left over. That's why my stripes are a little off with how thick they're supposed to be. Again, that's just because that's what I had to use. And then I'm using the tone on tone papers for all the half circles as well, because I really want this caterpillar here to shine, and so I want him to be kind of climbing in this hilly looking thing, and that he has all the colors that he has on him is also above him, almost like a little tree branch kind of thing. And the way these caterpillars get die cut, one run cuts out all those little circles, and I wanted it to be multiple colors, so I did end up making 4 of these caterpillars all together, I believe, and I think I only used 3 on these cards, so I have an extra caterpillar for a future card that is now in the same little envelope as my die cuts. So here I'm just adding a little bit of scrap cardstock behind this lower rectangle, just because it does overlap the higher one, and I want to make sure that everything is on even ground. You could use foam tape or something like that to bump it up more. I just like using scrap cardstock when I can, just because I have so many scraps. Like, it's a problem. I'm a big paper hoarder. I don't like to, in my head, waste, especially pattern paper or anything like that. So I tend to keep my scraps even when I shouldn't. I have a whole little filing system by color of all my scraps in little filing folders. And then, of course, any pattern paper stays with its pad inside of giant envelopes that I have, like giant plastic envelopes that I have. So I have a problem. It's fine. It's not completely taken over. Yeah, I might have completely taken over the craft room by now, but it's fine. My husband's okay with it for the moment. And then I'm just lining up those strips so they kind of have the same amount of that green base in between each line. Again, my widths are a bit off with those lines just because I am using the scraps that I had on hand. And I don't know about anybody else, but my paper trimmers, I'm not a huge fan of cutting anything smaller than an inch just because it goes off of the ruler, and then I'm like, I don't know if this is actually, the 1/4 of an inch that people want it to be or something. And that's fine. I'm fine. And then I'm just lining up those half circles here, making sure they stick well. We're going to just glue on this Mr. Caterpillar. Now, this caterpillar, I did decide to use the eyes that came with him. And other caterpillars later on, you will see that I use googly eyes, which I recently just bought a whole little case of googly eyes because they just make me happy. So I feel like if it can make me, who is an adult, but a kid at heart, happy, then, the kids that are receiving these cards, it makes it even better to have googly eyes. I mean, who doesn't like googly eyes? I'm just saying. So we are bringing in another sentiment from that stamp set. We're just going to be using the sentiment hello here. And then I'm just putting that on an acrylic block. I'm going to just go ahead and stamp right onto the card base and be brave, which doesn't always work out for me. And I'm just using my positively saturated ink from Simon Says Stamps in the night color. I feel like that matches the best with the navies that I have going on in this card. And we're just going to press really nicely and pop it right off. And it's perfect. And I love it. Yay. Okay. So it says hello. And then I'm just bringing in some of these sticker stars that are on the sheet here. We're just going to add a few all around, and I love it. All right, that is card number 9. And then we have, last but not least for this video, card number 10. Like I said, another caterpillar. I kind of went through phases depending on the pattern paper that became the showcase for it. And I just feel like this one comes out really cute too. Now, this particular sketch does use a lot of your different pattern papers. So I did want to make sure that I was using the sides that wouldn't really mess up my eyes. So I'm trying to make sure that it kind of goes busy, muted, a little bit busy, and then more muted on choosing which side of my pattern paper I wanted to use. So we're just bringing in my tape runner here again, and we're going to, I tend to tape all around the outside and then just a diagonal cross when I am using adhesive like this. We're going to line it up with my card base and smooth it down. And then I just put a piece of tape in between the layers just so it stays flat and I can continue on with the card. I'm just showing you what's on the other side of these patterns just so you can see which ones I chose over which one. And then I did have to replace my tape runner. I've been using that particular one for a while, so I'm actually surprised that lasted as long as it did. And then we're just going to line up all the pattern paper. It's supposed to have a strip of your card base at the bottom and a strip at the top. So I just wanted to make sure that I was giving myself the right amount of space once I put down that beetle paper there. And then that blue paper is actually a tone on tone, but it's actually, I know it doesn't show on the video very well, but it's little beetles or little something with legs on top of that blue paper. So that's actually bugs. That's tone on tone. And then you have the polka dot with the white and the red, and then the green tone on tone that looks a little bit like grass. So then I'm just bringing in my liquid glue to glue these circles with their mats according to the sketch. And if you made it with me this far, put a emoji of whatever is your favorite bug down in the description box below. Let me know. I'm a big fan of, like I said, butterflies, ladybugs, bumblebees, as long as they're not on me. I mean, I can handle butterflies on me, I guess. We go to the zoo and we go into the butterfly room, and the butterflies are just free to like land on little Q-tips that have nectar on them. And that's fine. I'm cool with that. Butterfly lands on me, no big deal. Anything else that's creepy and crawly, not a huge fan of that. So I am going to use a sticker from that sticker sheet. It says pretty and powerful, and I just decided that while I was trying to figure out what I wanted for my sentiment, I saw that sticker and I was like, I feel like that fits better for this card. So I actually don't use that caterpillar up in the top right hand of my screen. I will actually save him for later on, and I just feel like this looked better for the sketch. Now I am bumping up the two smaller circles with some foam tape. I only did half on that red one because I knew it was going to overlap the yellow one. And then I'm going to go ahead and use these little scrap pieces to decorate the inside. Now, this blue was actually supposed to be the circle on the sketch, but I cut mine, and so it was too small. So I just cut out a circle from a different piece of pattern paper and decided to use the leftover scrap here as a banner for the inside of my card. And I was struggling with my glue. The little cap sometimes doesn't want to kind of go to the side like I want it to, and it curls back into me, and then I was trying to glue on top of it. That doesn't really work. It's fine. And then we're just going to bring in a little bit more bugs here. I'm going to bring in some more ladybugs just to add to this card, and a little beetle to kind of go with that ladybug beetle paper that is down at the bottom of this card. And those will kind of act as my bling because I'm not going to add any gems to that. But what I was showing you here is that I could have used a strip of that sticker instead of the pattern paper from one of those strips. And if you're doing these sketches individual instead of as a set, that is a great way to use up some of your scraps as well as to use some of those stickers. So that is number 10. So these are all the cards I made in this video. There will be a part 3 next week that finishes off Kendra's Card Challenge 23. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you're new here, please subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss any videos from me. I am part of Kendra's Card Challenge, Not Too Shabby, and Tape Runner. So you see a lot of those kind of videos if you're interested in those products. And then, of course, I do my own thing for all my scraps and everything in my stash. So I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in another video soon. Bye!